Okay, about to start with Louisville.
General comment, and then we'll have questions for players. Whenever you're ready, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
You ready?
Yeah.
You know, first thing I want to say is I want to acknowledge Kyle and his team at Stanford. They played a whale of a game. That was a heck of a college basketball game. We just played them a week ago, maybe less than that, and give them a lot of credit for how they responded to that loss, the adjustments they made, how hard their kids played. They played their hearts out. They competed, and they deserve a lot of credit. So I wanted to say that first and foremost. Obviously, being down 15 points with 11 to play is the epitome of your back's against the wall. And I've been saying all year long how lucky I am to have such a veteran-laden team, so much leadership within our team. I didn't have to say much in the huddle. And how these guys responded to that adversity was amazing, and I'm very, very, very proud of them. In the first half, I really think Stanford was the aggressor. I think they were the harder playing team. We challenged our guys at halftime to, we pride ourselves in our rebounding and offensive rebounding. We challenged our rebounders to go attack the ball, Noah being one of them, and he did a great job on the glass. James Scott, I thought, was a huge catalyst. I think he had 4 offensive rebounds in the second half, ended up with like 12 and 9 or 12 and 10. That's what Noah had. I thought Javon Hadley was making tenacious hustle plays. He was being a menace on the ball. And then obviously Chucky and Fat made huge plays. Terrence, his voice was louder than anybody in that huddle at that 11-minute mark, and just made some dynamic plays for us that really ignited us and sprung us to a victory. So I'm proud of our guys. We got to recover quick. We're going to find out who we play about midnight, and guys are going to get back to the room, rest up, and we'll start preparation for our next opponent right away.
Good questions for Terrence and Noah.
Yeah, Terrence, you took the shot there. Towards the end, Noah, you were down there fighting for the rebound. Can you both just kind of take me through, that final possession from your perspectives?
I can say credit to Stanford. They came out in some weird thing where they jumped Chucky and kind of took us out what we was finna run, and we was able to stay poised, and like Coach said, like our guys in the second half was like dogs on the glass. So I knew I just had to get it up. Like James Scott told me, like, man, just put it on the rim. I got you. And he was telling me that the whole first half, and we was kind of wasn't playing how we supposed to play. And once we trusted him, like he was able to get 12 and 10. So that was great leadership from him, from being so young and trusting him. And we just got it on the rim. James Scott and Noah and Javon was down there fighting, and they was able to deflect the ball right to Chucky, and Chucky just do what he do.
Yeah, kind of like he was saying, we had a little play drawn up, and then they kind of jumped us out of that. We weren't ready for that. I thought his shot was going to go in. I'm going to be honest. I believe everybody on the team. So I thought it was a buck. But we always gotta crash the glass, and it was definitely big time. James, just who he is. He always gets offensive, defensive rebounds. He's always big for us like that, and he tapped it right to Chuck, and like he said, and that's Chucky.
Back of the room.
Dick Cox with Lindy Sports and Cox Sports Broadcasting is for the players. When you got down 15, it looked like you were able to do some things offensively. You looked like you got really aggressive. Did they do anything defensively different, or did you read that? Because you got 2 straight baskets and chances at and 1, and you really started taking the ball to the basket strong after that.
I can say it shouldn't take for us to be down 15 to come out and play like that. That's how we play from the jump. Got to give credit to Stanford. They came out and hit us in the mouth, and they switched up some things we didn't go over that happened so quick that we couldn't talk about. But like Coach said, just credit to our team, man. We we know what we want to do. And once you have a goal set and with the team, and the culture gonna take care of itself. And we just stayed together. Nobody argued when we was down 15. We just stayed together, and we knew we was gonna walk them down some type of way.
Michael McCammon, Cardinal Authority on 247 Sports. For the two players, Coach said he didn't have to say much in the huddle and praised the leadership of the veterans here. But what was the communication amongst the players when you guys were down 15?
Noah?
I mean, Coach always tells us just stick together, play us 40 minutes. So everybody knew that. I felt like we weren't worried even when we were down 15. We have a veteran team, and we were just telling each other, hey, let's just be us. Like, let's not worry about the baskets. Let's not look at the scoreboard. It's all about being us for the next 11 minutes. And that's what we did, and we came out with the dub. So,
Terrence?
Like Noah said, we got great coaches. So, once we lead like that, it makes it easy for them. Just draw out what they draw up and try to fix things. I feel like in the first half, they did some things that we had to just fix and play our style on defense, blow things up. But they had counters for that too. So we were just able to stay together, like Noah said. Nobody argued. Nobody went left. Everybody just stayed together and hold each other accountable.
Sure, right?
Coach, you said the 11-minute mark that they were
Coach, for
vocal. I can't remember what.
Players first.
Oh, okay.
Players.
Right.
Other questions for players? Okay, that's it. Guys, you need to head back to the locker room? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but process. Okay, go ahead.
I can't remember you said at the 11-minute mark whether it was Terrence or Chucky who was really vocal. What was their message that they were being vocal about?
Well, I mean, it started with the politically correct term was a little aggressive counseling by PK for about the first 30 seconds. But, I didn't have to say much after that. They kind of took over the timeout. And, we just always say no matter what the scoreboard is, whether we're up 15 or down 15 at those media timeouts at 0-0. And we just said we're playing uncharacteristic, our discipline's waning. I don't think our communication was great on the defensive end. And then, they came out of that and responded, and it was some of the best defense we've played of the entire year. Just getting those stops and then guys stepping up and making plays. Proud of them for their resolve and how they fought. Down the stretch, we're up 7 or whatever it was with 2 minutes to play and had a couple empty possessions and a turnover. But we were just fortunate. I've been doing this a long time, and I've been beat at the buzzer before. The basketball gods tend to even them out at some point. So somehow that ball slipped out of hands and landed in Chucky's hand. He shot like a Papa shot, and it went in. And, again, I always say, just like Noah Waterman made one at the buzzer earlier in the year when we played Eastern Kentucky, Chucky's going to tell his grandkids about that shot. So fortunate to advance. We're going to play a really, really good team, regardless of which team wins tonight. And we got to prepare.
Pat, you won ACC Coach of the Year. Can you just take us through your thoughts on that? And then afterwards, there was a lot of comments back and forth about maybe other people should have won it. Do you pay attention to that kind of stuff, or what's kind of your thoughts on it?
No, I don't pay any attention. I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of coaches in this league, several, that could have very, very, very easily won that award. My mom did send me the one little graphic that I think it was that Duke sent out, but I read all the stuff that they had on there, and I was like, holy crap, that's pretty impressive. Maybe he should have won it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Those don't matter. All that matters is, fighting with this team to try to win a championship. We're very fortunate to advance. Survive and advance is what they say in tournament play. And we're fortunate to do it. So excited to find out who we're playing. Be a sleepless night, but it'll be complete adrenaline. This is the most fun time of the year. March is college basketball time, and the college basketball lovers all over America saw a thriller tonight, and again, we're fortunate to advance.
Third row.
Stephen Arthur, Virginia Tech Television. Coach, we got the players' thoughts on the final few seconds, but I wanted to get your thoughts and what was going through your mind as the clock started to tick down to 0.
Well, like the guys said, they ran 2 guys at Chucky, right? So we had a play design, to Chucky lead the play and try to get him, they're no dummies. They know Chucky's our go-to guy. So they trapped him, got it out of his hands, threw it back to Chucky. They ran at him again. So got the ball to Fat, and Terrence, we call him Fat. He's been one of the best guards in the league over the last, 6-8 games. He's averaging like 1 million points, and he was huge catalyst tonight. So I feel just as comfortable having the ball in Terrence's hand. I mean, he shot a tough contested shot. To be honest with you, I agree with Noah. It looked good when it left his hands, and I'm thinking, no way we're going to win on a double clutch, top of the key, hot contested shot. And sure enough, we didn't. But then the ball pops around, and the other thing that went through my mind when there was that little scrum is, oh my gosh, we cannot foul. We foul 90,000 feet from the basket. They go down there with 0.4 seconds on the clock, make 2 free throws, and it's over. The ball kind of squirted out, landed Chucky's hands, and there wasn't anybody within 4 feet of him. Literally, it was like Papa shot. I don't even think he jumped. It was just like a little push shot, and it left his hands, and I knew it was going in, and it was a little bit surreal. The guys start running all over the place. I was just kept my composure because I didn't know they were going to check the clock, whether it went in or not, whether there was going to be more time on the clock. And then they looked at it, and they said, bucket good, game over, and it was crazy. But those are tough, man. My thinking about those kids in that locker room at Stanford and Kyle, who's a class act, it's a tough way to end your season. I've been on the other end of it, like I said, but, we're very fortunate and lucky and excited to advance.
Back of the room.
Coach, it's your first year at Louisville and also the first year for a lot of your players, but has it been kind of an advantage that a lot of the players you've got are 4th and 5th year players that maybe have made plays like this somewhere else, and now when you need them to make them for you at the end of the year, they're able to step up and do it for you?
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure statistically we might be one of the most, the oldest teams in America, the most veteran, the most experienced teams in America. We've had our fair share of adversity with injuries and things like that. Our rotation's much shorter than it was earlier in the year, but, we recruited winners, guys that are battle-tested, guys that come from winning programs, guys that came into our program at places that were very, very well coached. I've told people in the Louisville media several times, like the first workout we had on June 6th, it was pretty clear that we had a very, very high basketball IQ team. Like, I started talking about concepts and putting stuff in, and they were like, got it. So it is. It's a smart, savvy team and a bunch of winners.
Front row.
Yeah, Pat, Rain sat out again tonight. Was just trying to get your thoughts on how he's been doing since we last spoke after the game last weekend, and do you foresee him playing tomorrow maybe? I
mean, it's literally day to day. He obviously wants to be out there so bad. He's as tough of a kid as I've ever coached. Those the type of ankle sprain that he has, kind of the high ankle sprain type, they're no fun. He's getting treatment basically around the clock, and then each day we see how he progresses. So got the word, mid-afternoon that he probably couldn't go tonight, but I don't know. You got to ask the medical people, but we don't know. We'll see.
Mark Blankenbaker, ESPN Louisville. You were down 14 or 15 points, and then you were up 8 with 1:30. What's the conversation in both of those points on your sideline?
Yeah, well, I think there was one timeout in that little 1:30 where we had a chance to, get organized, talk about what we were doing defensively, what we were going to run offensively, but, we handle those situations better than that normally, being able to get stops, take care of the ball, execute, put the game away. But you give them credit. They didn't lay down. They continued to fight, made a couple really tough shots, got an and one, got a turnover. So they were gritty today. They didn't lay down when we got up 8. They continued to fight. We're fortunate to the shot go in at the end.
Pat, as best we can tell, James Scott, pokes that ball out of there if he did. And if he didn't, it's the kind of play he makes anyway all season. But what does he mean? He just keeps getting his hands on balls and 100 other things.
We're that type of team. We got a lot of guys like that. I mentioned, Javon's, how hard he played in the second half. Noah, James is beloved, I think, by our fan base because they really respect guys that hustle, guys that play hard. James has a motor that never, ever stops. He leads the country in fist given. That's a Dean Smith thing. Like when you're tired and you're exhausted, you can't play anymore, you turn to the coach and you give a fist, and that means, coach, get me out. And most people don't want to come out of the game, but he plays almost till he blacks out. And he looks over and his knees are wobbling. He goes like this, and, hey, man, we got to get James. We get him out. And then he's out for about 30, 45 seconds. He looks, I'm ready. So just he's everywhere. He's like Inspector Gadget arms. He tips the ball. He gets offensive rebounds. I think he leads the country in dunks. And then he's such a student of the game. Like when we do all our scouting right before the game, we do one last preview of personnel of the other team. And we'll pick a guy in the room, and we got to number 42, and you pick James. I had to cut him off or we would have missed the jump ball because he was going through every single nuance of that kid's game. And that's just how James is. He's a kind of a basketball savant for such a young player.
Yeah, you mentioned the game with Noah beating with Noah beating the buzzer. I'm just wondering, where does this one maybe rank for you, just in terms of best finishes? Don't know how many other buzzer beaters you've had throughout your career as a coach, but where does this one maybe stand out to you?
Yeah, it's the latest one, so it's the one I remember the most. It was pretty darn special. I've had several other ones where I got beat, several ones where we made them, but we've had two really fortunate ones. I mean, heck, we talked about Noah tonight, how he really stepped up, and he's had a tough year, tons of injuries, broken thumb, 4 pins in his thing. Then he gets behind a bunch of guys in the rotation, and his minutes are really, really limited. And then when we needed him the most, he really, really stepped up. But man, you talk about this great season that we're having. It could be totally different if that ball doesn't go in at the end of the Eastern Kentucky game. Like, you talk about down and out. Like, we could have very, very easily lost that game. Noah makes that shot, and then Chucky makes this one tonight. Hopefully there's more luck in the genie bottle here moving forward, too.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.